Thank you. James Boyle, 150 Greenleaf Avenue. Talking about authority. Okay. When I sat down with a portion of the city council this week, or last week, and a month prior to that, my one condition was the group I was sitting with had some authorization for settlement. And I believe they did. At some point during this meeting that we had last week, it became clear that at the size of all the exposure that the two lawsuits were presenting to the city, that a global resolution wasn't really going to work that day. So I proposed what I called Plan B, and it was a piecemeal settlement. The councilors and the city attorney seemed interested, but they said they'd have to run it by John Bohenko. I was asked to leave the room while Mr. Bohenko came in, and he was briefed. He greeted me on the way in. They spent, 5 minutes in there going over what was talked about. And then they invited me back in, and he left. And my attorney was then told to draft a document that could be shared with the entire city council, which he did. So here I am only 3 days after, a couple of attempts and time and money, around $10,000 out of my pocket, was I informed that this settlement wasn't going to happen. So today the city attorney sent a letter confirming the city's denying my proposal. It has no counteroffer. It has no plans to schedule another meeting. This letter was CC'd to 5 attorneys on the city's side. I can only imagine what each of those attorneys is going to charge the city to read and review that letter. As the issue stands, we have a tentative mediation date a month from now. I'm very hesitant to attend mediation after the city knowingly caused me to waste thousands of dollars in meetings where there was no true authority to settle. And I only learned on Wednesday that the city hired a new attorney. He should have been at that meeting. The city was found in bad faith when they took my land. There's 5 full pages in the eminent domain judgment dedicated to bad faith. And it's clear to me these negotiations that we just went through were also in bad faith. The letter also referenced the media coverage over the weekend. To quote the newspaper, they said, "Reached Friday afternoon. Bohenko stressed repeatedly he wasn't involved in this week's negotiations between the two sides. I didn't sit in on the meetings. It's all secondhand to me," he said. "I took myself out of it. I've turned it back to the city attorney and the city council members. I don't know what Jim Boyle's thinking, but I'm not involved in it," he added. Well, Mr. Bohenko, I'm thinking you can't tell the truth, because you were in the room, being briefed on Plan B, and making the decision to move forward with the proposal. The newspaper goes on to say that City Attorney Robert Sullivan also said Bohenko did not participate in the settlements. He also said the city's legal department made the decision to hire the new attorney, Felmley. Well, I have a couple of questions. Does the city's legal department have the authority to hire one of the highest paid lawyers in the state? I mean, who signed this contract?
Mr. Boyle, you need to please wrap up,
McLean,
please.
I'm almost done. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. When was it signed? And did the councilors that I sat with know that Felmley was making all the decisions and answers only to Bohenko? I'm hesitant to get into any further mediations. And after wasting time and money for the 4th time at least that we've sat down, and I've spent over $50,000 mediating, and as you know, I won both the lawsuits. And the damages are accruing at over $100,000 a month. It's time for the ceremonial mayor and the council to uphold the oath they took of office when they were sworn in. Thank you.
Thank you.